O Satan, you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red
Good morning. Today is Sunday, December 22nd, 2019. It's 8:15 a.m. Just saying. Gerald Celente pointed out that the stock markets do not agree with the impeachment. When I say they don't agree, I'm saying, well, what he said. Markets are going up. They're doing well, right? But I'm looking at this market right here, and I'm thinking, holy cow. Holy cow. I'm gonna pull up wrong toolbox. It's coming to a fine point here. It's even steeper. See how steep that is? Never good. But it's on to a new run. Higher highs, higher open, and a higher close than yesterday, than the day before. It's getting close to looking like there's no more gas. And see, it made these highs, these last two highs, losing gas right there. It's not volatile. And 2008, it double peaked in October. So I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. Now, it didn't break this trend right there. Well, I can't see it. Let me see. Let me see if I can. It ain't gonna give it to me all squishy that way. Bang. There we go. We're almost done with the month. It's not much of volume. Anyway. Oh, look at that. Arts and crafts, man. It's all about arts and crafts. Creativity, man. So I'm thinking right now we've got a little bit more to go to bump up against the ceiling here. This is the monthly chart. Good morning, Buckshot. Thank you for the lemon. Whack, whack. To you too. So, Gerald Celente says the stock market doesn't agree, and I agree with that statement. But I think that the same people who are trying to impeach Donald Trump are the same people who are running the markets. And that they're pumping in the money like crazy, and it's got to go somewhere. They're talking about it being repo, as in they get their money back in the next day. But I don't think that's what's going on. That money is getting put right back into here. Right back into this. And It's going to be all those people who are bureaucrats. Your pensions are going to disappear. They have to give, there has to be a reason for bureaucrats to want to go die. And I don't think the bureaucrats in Virginia are buying the, let's all go out and die on this hill because we don't want my neighbors to have guns. Well, Virginia is a projectile state. It's a dangerous place. It's just the nature of living here. America is supposed to be a dangerous projectile place. So, with that in mind, now, let's see. I'm going to look at this one right here. They have to do something to bring the minds around, to get them to go out and want to take their guns. And the only way that they're going to do it is if the stock market crashes, then they can easily start blaming they're going to blame Trump. Oh, geez. What did I do? I lost control, man. They have to. They have to find out. They have to find a way to blame Trump. But they have to, if the markets are crashing, then they can offer booty to the bureaucrats. Tell them, hey, man, everything you need is here. We got it all, baby. It's all out in your neighbor's yard. Go get it. It's in his house. And so, right here, this should have been the top. Right here. 1, 2, 3. And right here, they started the impeachment. And there was volume back here under that drop right there. So that should have continued the trend. Then they started this whole impeachment crap. And when they started this whole impeachment crap, New York had to keep it going. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. It's double, triple top. Now it's the formations to a single top. Bo Pony came out on another one of those Bitcoin shows and said, "Hey, man, something's gonna drop before Christmas." He is adamant about that, and we already see it. Nadler is going after Pence now. So they're going to remove Pence. The Senate has to act. They have to start when they come back into session. They need to amend the rules and set a date. In other words, take control of the situation from the Congress. And I don't know if McConnell's that kind of guy. There doesn't seem. I'm reading about the procedure on the fringes. You know, I have the rules of the Senate, and the Democrats are already saying, "Oh, you got to promise to be fair and impartial." Well, anybody who's fair and impartial knows that the shit is dead on the arrival, because there's no judge who would allow that kind of indictment to go forward in his court. Really? You're prosecuting this guy because you don't like him? Okay, where's the cause? Show cause. That's the first question. It doesn't show cause. There's no law that was broken. No law. And I just refreshed bad faith, and who came up but Comey? DuckDuckGo knows the future. Let's see what comes up now under bad faith. Same stuff. Star Wars. Bad faith. Double-mindedness. So this is uncharted. This is the next resistance right here. And then it's going to go parallels. I don't know if I can copy it. Let me see. Clone tool. There it is. So. And extend to the right. Clone tool. It's interesting how it just dropped right there, man. See? And then we'll clone it there. And let's get rid of this. Remove. Delete. Took a second to see delete. It was in red. I wasn't looking for it. Smart move. Paint it red. Bring it out. Bad move. Don't touch. Danger. Yep. That's why they paint Republicans red, because they're saying danger, Will Robinson. And these are next resistance levels. Let's see. There we go. Oh, there we go. Right, left. Get rid of 2. There we go. I'm learning the bar chart. So I'm thinking that it's going to drop. I thought it was going to drop earlier, but now we know the money's being pumped into the stock market. They're calling it the repo market, but why would we expect any organization, especially one that is not federal, to tell us the truth? They're propping instead of making education available to all Americans and building our roads and creating a hyper efficient infrastructure for us all, having transporters and flying cars. No, that stuff. No, we're not going to build the infrastructure for that. Now, we're going to give all the money to keep the fiat currency up and away. Fiat currency to the rescue, right, Coney? Fiat currency to the rescue. See, he's acting in bad faith while claiming Hillary Clinton was acting in good faith in human interactions. Good faith, honesty, sincere intention to deal fairly with others. That's right. It's always ironic to see somebody like congressmen and what have you come out and say, "Hey, you know what? Now that I've sent this over to you, I want you to act in good faith." I thought that was hilarious.
Democrats talk about wanting to impeach this president, and now they finally have. And now that they've impeached him, they're talking about dropping it?
Are you willing to hold the articles indefinitely if Mitch McConnell doesn't concede the points that you're asking him to? Are you suggesting it's possible you will never transmit the articles of impeachment?
If it were me, yes, that's what I'm saying. I have no idea what the speaker will do.
What he really said is, I really have no idea what I'm talking about. He doesn't even, I doubt he even knows the rules.
But if you have a preordained outcome that's negative to your actions, why walk into it?
Oh my God! He just made the case for why Donald Trump didn't participate in in Nadler's and Schiff's investigation. So this guy just ran cover for Donald Trump. Didn't even realize it. Why would you go and participate in something that is stacked against you, and that they've already decided the outcome?
I'd much rather not take that chance.
So he just made the case for why Donald Trump didn't participate. And, saying he has to participate in your investigation is in violation of separation of powers. Donald Schiff has made it clear that if he's allowed to investigate ad nauseum, you're allowed to investigate ad nauseum. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're not a member of the bar, Donald, so you're not included. You're not one of the purple tie gang. You see this SOB here wearing purple? He's working for Hillary Clinton's crowd. If you notice, every single one of these Democrats going on television put on purple when they're talking treason now. They're wearing purple. The prosecuting people were wearing purple. They were wearing purple. And of course, the Grim Reaper, Pelosi wearing black on that day. You see the way she wagged her arm at her party? She can't control herself. That was a form of gloating on her own. Scolding her own party. That's right. And this asshat's coming out in public saying, we demand the Senate be impartial.
They're not even going to send the impeachment case, their findings, they're not even going to send it to the Senate. They know they don't have a case.
That's right. They don't even have a case.
What the hell is wrong with these people? Are you kidding me? You put the country through all of this? You put the country through all of this madness? You put the country through this just so you could drop it?
No, they're not dropping it. What they're doing is they're setting it up. They're setting everything up to paint the Republicans. Well, they've already said what they're going to do. They're trying to float the idea through I'm on my doorstep Ginsburg that it's okay for the judiciary to step in now to the Senate and tell them that which senators can and can't participate. They're going to put prior restraint on the senators, or going to try to, and if this Supreme Court steps in. See, Nancy Pelosi can go to the Supreme Court now and file action to have all the senators who claim that they've made up their mind already, and saying that they're not going to fold to Oi Boy's demands, Schumer's demands of 5 ways to Sunday to get the president. He's going to call he wants to have control. He demands equal control, co-equal, something that the Democrats didn't do in the investigation in the House. So they're going to paint that, and I think that since right now the markets are confirming that Donald Trump is possibly in the right, as soon as they start this crap into the judiciary, and the judiciary weighs in next week before Christmas and says, well, we're gonna seriously look at disqualifying senators based on what they've said, that would cause the markets to tumble, or they would then pull the rug out from under the markets, or the quantitative easing and the repo would just not go into the markets, but would go into buying undervalued assets, such as I don't know if they can buy Bitcoin, but such as gold and silver and other things like that, strategic metals. get strategic. They would then be able to say, hey, look, the markets agree that, the Republicans are just bad. Orange man bad, Republicans bad. And then with the markets tanking like that, the bureaucrats are going to be told that they're going to have to do something to save their hides and take care of their families. And it's the gun owners. It's a combination of these gun owners who are supporting Donald Trump and causing the markets to go down, because the judiciary, which is wholly owned by the communists and the Purple Tie Gang, judiciary is Purple Tie Gang, guys. I don't care how many judges they appoint. As long as the Bar Association is involved, it's compromised. Everybody should, by 8th grade, every single American who's gone all the way through 8th grade should be able to sit on the judiciary as a judge. That if we were going to have truly utopian world where school was SKOOL as opposed to shul, it was honest and not double-minded and bad faith to keep us into appeal to authority, we'd all be able to be judges. I'm a judge. I can tell you right now, the evidence that has been presented showed me that there were people in there who are undermining America's borders, that they are putting Ukraine before America. They're putting business deals of the Bidens and the Hines and other people before America's. They're not for America. They're for some other. Well, okay. They're working for international communism. It was more than obvious. And if I was in charge, that entire culture would be kicked out of America at this point. I'm not stupid. And they're basically trying to pry open the door and say, no, we're allowed here and we're allowed to be disruptive. We're allowed to force our culture onto you. Now accept it. That's what the House is doing. The House is acting like the same thing that just happened with Donald Trump signing that executive order. The House that is a culture forcing you to accept them. Now, the House's culture of corruption, they're forcing the Senate to accept.
You know what's funny?
No.
What's funny is that these Democrats are proving, folks, that they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Okay, you and I are parting ways there. They do know what they're doing. They know that the Senate has to change the rules to set it to change the way the impeachment comes to them, and all they have to do is just pass a rule and then set a date. They're not really talking about it, which may be good, maybe bad. I'm not sure, because if there's no public discussion of it. It's in the back channels. You have to dig deep into websites that most people don't ever go to see people talking about it, talking about how the process works. And then they have this oath that they're saying, oh, they've got to sign this oath. Well, the oath just says that they have to be true to their hearts. That's it. Nothing else. That's what I'm true to the Holy Spirit. That would be the perfect oath. True to the Holy Spirit. Because there's only one sin that God does not forgive, and that is disregarding the Holy Spirit. Wow. You talk about sending Nadler and Schiff and Pelosi into a conniption fit. Woohoo! Boy, will that do it. So I'm looking for support right here on this bottom line. This is the first line of support. It's interesting how it cuts right in half Fridays is this Fridays? Yep. Friday's trading day. So the markets don't open till 6. East Coast, so I've got a while to go. I got many chores today, unfortunately. Cold weather, things always break. And I had the part of the cave caved in on itself a while back, and so I had a lot of debris go into my into my spring pumps, and it ground up one of my valves, and so now I got to replace it because it ruined the actuator, unfortunately. So I got to do that. So I got to set that. I'm waiting for the temperature to get above 32, and then I can do that. All right, let me see. Copy. So this guy and I, we're parting ways here on this part.
They're just trying to do anything they can to get rid of this president. They know they don't.
Yes, they are doing everything they can. But right now, I think they're in coordination with the markets and the bankers. And Donald Trump is at odds with them. And I know that other people say, well, you know, Donald Trump is in the club and everything like that, and he wouldn't be president if he wasn't. No. He's president because the Democrats and the Purple Tie Gang didn't set the machines correctly. They did not believe the true polls. They went with their own false polls and set the ratio wrong. It was a surprise to everybody.
Don't have anybody in the race that can take on this president. The stock market just hit another record high today. I think that says a lot about what people think about this impeachment sham. So,
well, I don't think the stock market's being pushed up. See, there's weekly money that has to go somewhere from the pension funds. It's being put in there, and they have to continually invest it. They're only allowed so much cash, and so every time they take out money out of those paychecks, it gets transmitted to these pension funds. And the biggest contributors to these pension funds is the bureaucracy. So they're putting that's what's going in there, and it's being propped up by the repo money and the quantitative easing. They're not calling it that, but you know, you look at it gets pumped up every week. Now, the markets agree, you're right, but I think it's a fake. The markets agree, but it's a fake. It's a setup because they've already got two more prongs of attack. The first one is they're holding the impeachments. They're holding it in their pocket. And the second prong is that they've already started to attack the senators and painting them in the light of somebody who's going to be like those jurors out in California who said it was okay for somebody who came to the United States illegally to shoot a pretty woman in the back and kill her. Let them go. It's always ironic that the ones who are most evil demand you accept their evil under false pretense, bad faith.
So if you're an American out there and you've been wondering or you've been concerned, I actually saw an older black gentleman today at the airport, and I had my Trump 2020 hat on, and he said, "I like your hat." And then he said, "Is the president in trouble?" I said, "Nah, he's not in any trouble." He said, "Well, it kind of looks like it." Well, folks, that's what the Democrats were trying to do. Make average, everyday Americans that do support this president worry that for some reason, somehow, for these sham abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, that was going to somehow get the president taken out of office. Well, it's not. All it's done is rile up a whole lot of Americans and hopefully wake up a lot of Americans to see that the Democrats are really just full of hot air and cow dung.
I want to show you one other document that I think probably gets the President of the United States angrier than anything else, and you'll see why in a minute. This is an accounting report going back to 2017. This is during the Obama administration. The Ukrainians located $5.3 billion in foreign aid that was being misspent. About 80% of that is our money. That's what he keeps saying about he was worried about how Ukraine spends money. Here's the proof. Not, Adam Schiff lies. Here's the proof. Now, the Ukrainians started to investigate this. 2 people from our embassy went to see them and told them, don't investigate it.
Buckshot, you are so right, man. It kills me. It kills me. Wounds my heart.
We don't care. We don't care about the $5.3 billion of our taxpayers' money. And you say, well, why would they do that? And then there was even a lot more pressure. Why would they do that? Because what this shows is that our embassy was giving this money not to the government. They were giving it to NGOs. You know who the biggest NGO owner is?
Yeah, George Soros.
Oh, my God, anti-Semitic. We're anti-Semitic now.
I know.
We said the word George Soros. I'll be damned if you're going to call me anti-Semitic.
You gotta like the guy. I liked him when he was up there in New York. I did. I liked him then. Man. And yeah, I can like him because I am technically from New York City. Yeah, technically from New York City. That's the port where I came in from Germany to New York City, and my mom's family was from there. Too funny. God damn, if you're gonna call me. Thanks for the clip, Buckshot. I agree with that. That's a good one. It's not getting out there, obviously. Look, 654 views. That's it. Tree Jumper had it. Let's see what else he puts in there. You are to blame liberals. Another Tucker. The coup against Trump. Dan Bongiorno. They are trying to destroy me. Rudy Giuliani. Wow. Okay. Who is that guy he was interviewing? Is that I don't know who it is. In God We Trust. John Voight.
There is a God. There is a truth. This left wing lacks truth and are afraid of Trump's truth to save this country. Let us all stand with God, with President Trump, and ask the holy light of God and Jesus for their prayers, more now than ever, for the evil is trying to win. This is a battle for truths, and the left are afraid of the true truths that President Trump has brought forth. This is America. We are strong, we are smart, and our leader, President Trump, has shown us this. If the impeachment proceeds, America will fall. For President Trump has built it back, and the extreme left are destroying this nation's glory. I stand on this ground, this soil of the United States of America, and I remember the words of Abraham Lincoln. This is not what God would want. They're not concerned for good or bad. This is evil intent to destroy a president who has America in his hands. And the left are destroying. What do? We pray and hope that in God we trust. Much love.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Voight. Trump 20. This is funny right here. I've seen this one. Whack. That's a good meme. I give that one big kudos, man. That's funnier than hell. All right, Mr. Salante.
Williams on at shadowstats.com, and he says, listen, we'd be in a depression basically right now if it wasn't for Donald Trump. He's done good things for the economy, but he inherited a lot of debt. He got a lot of debt the day he put his hand on the Bible, and the economy isn't really that great. Do you think the economy is strong? Do you think it's covertly strong or overtly strong, or do you think it's not so great or mediocre? What's your appraisal of the overall economy? Because we keep hearing that the economy is fantastic.
It's mediocre. Look at it. Look at the expected growth for this year and next year, 2%. That's what we had under Obama since the Great Recession ended. It's not that great. And again, the money's again. I'm not saying this is a political or any kind of personal statement. The facts are there. You got 3 people in America got more dough than half the population: Gates, Bezos, and Buffett. Take a trip around the world. 26 people, according to the Oxfam report, have more money than half of the world's population. So this disparity of income is real. Again, I just gave you some of the numbers. You have half the population nearly is earning less than $30,000 a month. And you look at the profits that are going into the higher end. So again, and I very much respect what Shadow Stats does. He's terrific, and he also tells you about, the real unemployment numbers. And then let's look also, Greg, at the real inflation numbers.
Yeah, he says it's 10%, roughly.
So it's not, under 2%. So because they don't put in healthcare, they don't put in rent, they don't put in mortgage, they don't put in taxes, they don't put in. So, no, I would consider the American economy is moderately doing well. It will continue to do well as long as interest rates stay low, and they could lower them. Their overnight rate is what, 1.5 to 1.75 overnight rate, so they could keep lowering them. I believe by this time next year we'll have negative to zero interest rate policy, and it'll keep artificially pumping up the economy. That's why I said in 2021, Donald Trump will be Hoover 2021, meaning Herbert Hoover 1931.
Do you have Governor Northam, who's in Virginia, who gained control of the House and the Senate. He's passing onerous gun control, gun confiscation laws. He's talking about sending out the National Guard. Is that the tip of the iceberg for a civil war, civil unrest, things like that? What's your appraisal of civil war, civil unrest in America in 2020 or 2021?
Oh, escalating. Again, it's the divided states of America. We saw with the impeachment, and with a clown like this, the other guy in California, one after another. Listen, I'm all in favor of gun control. Let's start with the military. I don't want all my dough going to the military, all right? The Democrats voted, only 48 people voted against in the House of Representatives. 48 total voted against the biggest military budget in American history. Then start demilitarizing the police with all the stuff that they got. Then come to me and tell me you want to take my gun, all right? Then talk to me about gun control. The fish rots in the head down. Well, it's America. Look what's going on. You saw the Afghan papers came out. Oh, we won't talk about it because it's out of the news. We got to talk about impeachment. It made it in the news very briefly about how they admitted lying to us, wasting trillions of dollars of our money. And not only that, how about Iran? Trillions, what is it, about 6 trillion when you total up the war on terror? Killing over 1 million people, innocent people, on wars based on lies. And I got a little piece of garbage over there telling me to give up my gun. Here's to you, Jack. Come over here, Governor, and take it away from me, man to man, without bringing your little boys to fight for you.
So, let's try to end on something good.
Come, dude.
Is there any silver lining that you see for America?
He only wrangles dead babies.
In the year 2020, anything good that we can end on?
Well, it's not a question of good and what, but it is what is. And let me put this into perspective. I mentioned all those riots, wars, demonstrations, protests going on around the world. Name me one leader. Name me one leader. They're leaderless. Leaderless. That's a positive trend. Only in dumb America you got morons leading you in the Congress, in the Senate, and all around. They're leaderless. Number two, when things are going down, people want to feel good. The roaring 2020s. The entertainment media doesn't know how to do it. The entertainment industry doesn't know how to do it. The entrepreneurs do. People want to be lifted up. Give them something good rather than your bad rap. You take it easy, Jack. Got my own. Want to feel good. Entertain the people, you understand? The people the entrepreneurs that tie into that are going to find huge audiences. Elegance. Step it up. It's going down. Step it up. Be the best you can physically, emotionally, spiritually. Make yourself look good, feel good. Doesn't cost a lot of money anymore. Look what's going on. You're online, you could buy great products very inexpensively and also use products of the highest elegance for pennies on the dollar. So elegance, go back to the 1930s. I have a wonderful photograph of my parents, may their soul rest in peace. Married 1934, height of the Depression. They worked as laborers. They worked in factories, fish stores, grocery stores. Dressed to the nines, looking fine. Think about it. The Great Depression, hottest, happiest music America ever knew. It was swing time. Lift the spirits. Everybody's down. The smart entrepreneurs are going to really reap great rewards, not only financially, very, very satisfactorily, and it'll bring up the American spirit. And that, to me, is one of the best trends, the two, roaring 2020s and also elegance. Eleganza. People want it, they want to feel it.
You were. Video. Some things are just too funny not to share with you. This thing got a hold of my funny bone and just wouldn't let go. And before you get any ideas, this does not mean I'm for Trump or any hypocritical, double-speaking political parasite. They're all gun-grabbing Zionists, from Barr down to Schiff to Pelosi to Biden to Trump. They're not here for your benefit. They're here to put on a show and keep you distracted while they steal more of your wealth and freedoms. I also thought these clips were interesting.
Obama, his Justice Department investigated more journalists than any other White House. Attempted to jail them.
James Rosen and James Risen in particular.
That's right. So
Donald Trump's never done that. I point that out to audiences all the time who say Donald Trump is the worst thing in the press. I said, well, yes, his rhetoric is the worst, no question. But he hasn't tried to jail anybody. Yeah. And Obama did it twice.
And making sure that we're able to cover everyone who is, in fact, able to be covered. Put your hand down for a second, Bernie, okay?
Just waving to you, Joe.
I know.
Saying hello.
I know.
Under Joe's plan, essentially, we retain the status quo.
That's not true.
No, it is exactly true. But thank you.
Senator Corby, I'm going to come to you.
My name was mentioned.
Yes, I'm going to come to you, but 45 seconds. 45 seconds.
All right, I'm going to interrupt now. It costs $30 trillion. Let's get that straight. $30 trillion over 10 years. The idea that you're going to be able to save that person making $60,000 a year on Medicare for all is absolutely preposterous. 16% of the American public is on Medicare now. At least before he was honest about it.
Oh, Joe.
It's going to increase personal taxes. They're going to be.
That's right. We are going to increase personal taxes.
Whoa, guys. Hey.
It's the first time I did this.
Okay, that's true. And now it's time for closing statements, beginning with Mr. Steyer.
I'm different from everybody else on this stage.
Mr. Yang.
I know what you're thinking, America. How am I still on this stage with them?
Senator Klobuchar.
We have had quite a debate tonight, but I want to debate Donald Trump.
Mayor Buttigieg.
I am asking you to join me, to vote for me, to caucus for me.
Senator Warren.
Did you call my name?
Senator Sanders.
45 years, Americans have been listening to great speeches. And at the end of the day, the average American worker is not making a nickel more than he or she did in real wages over those 45 years.
And finally, Vice President Biden.
I have a significant record of getting significant things done. Don't play games with them. Tell them the truth and be authentic.
The reason I play these clips from the debate is because we know what's going to happen when all's said and done. They act like they're so against each other, even going so far as to say their opponents are corrupt and dishonest, and yet every single one of them will turn right around and endorse the one who ends up getting the nomination. What a slinging crap fest of hypocrisy. Now for the featured video. This happened to hit my radar today. You're going to see a guy who does a fantastic job standing up not only for his rights against the advancement of tyranny, but for the rights of every single human being on Earth who will not be intimidated by an armed, badged, costume-wearing bully. Take a look at this and see if at the end you wouldn't mind buying this guy a beer.
Yes? What are you stopping me for?
That information, I'll be more than happy to let you know.
Well, you have to have a crime or infraction for me to identify myself, sir.
No! Who am I speaking with?
The driver of this car. What's your name and badge number? Officer Schneider. What is the nature of the stop?
I don't want to know why you're driving by me with the window down. I'm not sure what you're doing.
Is that a crime, sir?
No!
Is that illegal? Okay. Is it a crime? Is that a lawful stop because I drove with my window down?
I gave you the reason for the stop. Who am I speaking with?
The driver of this car.
Provide your identification.
For what? I didn't commit a crime.
Okay.
Driving with the window down is not unlawful. If that's all you got, you better get a supervisor out here.
Who am I speaking with?
You don't need to know that. I haven't broken a law.
Where are you headed to tonight?
That's none of your business.
It's not my business.
It's not your business. It's irrelevant to you.
No, it's not.
Why is it not irrelevant?
This is the third time that I've seen you driving by. When you drive by with your window down and your hand hanging out, saying...
Is that against the law?
Raises reasonable suspicion for me to stop you.
Suspicion is not a crime. You've stopped me.
So who am I speaking with? So I can...
You don't need to know that.
I do need to know that.
For what?
To know if you have a reason to be in this area now at this point in time.
Is it illegal to be in this area?
Okay. We've had crimes going on in this area. And
Wonderful.
You're a suspicious person in this area.
Okay.
I want to know who I'm speaking with.
Okay. You don't need to know.
Are you the owner of this vehicle?
Unless I've broken a law, I don't have to identify. Now, am I free to leave?
No, you're not at this point, okay?
What crime are you stopping me for?
I advise you why you're stopped.
Suspicious is not a crime. When I've done something wrong, then you may stop and detain me.
Are you the owner of this vehicle?
I'm not answering any questions. You let me know when I'm free to go, and if I'm not, you get a supervisor out here who can explain to you that unless I've broken a law, you cannot detain me, and I do not have to identify.
Go! Where are you headed to tonight?
That's none of your business. I already told you I'm not answering questions.
Where are you coming from?
Are you stupid? Obviously you are.
Why do you think I'm stupid?
You let me know when I'm free to go.
Good. Where are you headed to tonight?
Yep, he's going out. He's going to come for the guns because he was told to. Yeah, they said you have to turn over your guns.
Do you always violate people's rights?
Not violating any rights at this time.
Absolutely you are.
What rights am I violating?
You're unlawfully detaining me. You're violating my Fourth Amendment right to travel freely.
So I'm not violating any rights.
And
I
he's got a
haven't
gun.
committed a crime. Driving is not illegal. Driving with the window down is not illegal. Driving in this area is not illegal. So until you have a reason, kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
Now, am I going to get that supervisor?
No, I don't find a reason to wake my supervisor up at this time.
Well, you don't, but I do.
Contact me.
Clearly, you have an issue with me driving.
That's my job to...
Your job to stop people unlawfully?
I'm not unlawfully stopping anybody.
You're preventing me from going to my destination.
Where is that?
It's none of your
More than happy
business.
to let you continue on your destination.
All right, thank you. Goodbye.
Where's your destination?
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, you said goodbye. Am I being detained?
Everyone said you were being detained.
I don't have to identify. Now am I free to leave?
No, you're not at this point, okay?
Am I being detained?
Everyone said you were being detained.
Not being detained. All right, for the record, this officer is not detaining me. All right, goodbye.
Looks like you didn't get shot.
Okay, guys, please take a minute to spread the knowledge by liking and sharing this video everywhere you can.
Holy shit,
It really helps to overcome the YouTube censorship and suppression.
That made me tense watching that. It really did. So, what did I learn for today? Nothing. I didn't learn anything. All I did was see examples of different types of people. The craziness, man. That whole interaction made me tense because I've been through that problem with the police, and I've actually I took the tack of, oh, you stopped me because you need my help. What do you need my help with? And at that point, it doesn't register in their mind. See, I pretend like they need me to help them with something. Well, I don't pretend. I just ask them if they do. I said, do you need my help? What is it? Why did you stop me? Because you need my help. What's it for? What's wrong? And at that point, it disarms them. They don't know how to handle it. You know, they have, if they're peace officers, they can ask for help from other people, right? But yeah, I agree with it. Driving with the window down. Oh, yeah, you're not allowed to drive with your window down. Not allowed. Your window was up. Yeah, you used your brakes at the stop sign. Who knows what the hell? I mean, la-di-da, man. You know what that guy was? He was a Democrat. That police officer was a Democrat. Yeah, I have this fantasy going on in my mind, and you are guilty. You're suspicious because of my fantasy in my mind. So, anyway, I've got chores to go do. The sun's out and everything seems to be going the way it's supposed to this morning. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in and who tunes in later at the restreams. Yeah, you're right, Buckshot. He was very lucky not to be shot. That was very tense at the end. And I think the guy realized that when the police officer, when he says he's not being detained, just contradicted himself. He was acting in bad faith, double-mindedness, That's what that boils down to. It's always double-mindedness. That's what these people are, double-minded. They're all over the place. So I want to thank Buckshot for showing up. God bless you, Buckshot. And God bless the United States of America.
defend yourselves.